This photo shoot started with a feeling more than a plan. I just knew I wanted to create something soft, cinematic, a little bit dreamy, kind of like something out of a Sofia Coppola film. Honestly, I didn't really know where it was going. I just knew the mood that I wanted to create. I started by pulling together all the pieces that might help build that mood. I took a few wigs out, some vintage looking clothes, floaty fabrics, even a petticoat. Then I got to work setting up my space. To be honest, most of this is just trial and error, figuring out how to make something cinematic in my bedroom. All I needed was some fabric and a backdrop stand. And a coffee break, of course. This kind of setup, it's not glamorous, but it's always kind of exciting, like I'm slowly building a little set just for me. Next, the light was super important. I knew I wanted flares, and for that to work, the light had to be behind me. By the way, if you like creative self-portrait and portrait shoots like this, I share lots of content around that here, so make sure to subscribe to never miss a video. Next, I added a soft focus filter to the lens, mainly because this shoot wasn't about clarity. I wanted it to look a little hazy. For this kind of shoot, I love experimenting with what's literally in front of the lens. First, I tried a CD. Those can create really cool rainbow streaks when the light hits them just right. I also tried some plastic, just from packaging I had lying around. I attached it to the camera lens to see if it would add some kind of texture or blur. Then makeup was next. I went for something light, glowy, a little flushed, pastel eyeshadow, shimmery cheeks. I was thinking of that 2000s soft girl dreamy vibe, like in Virgin Suicides or even Lost in Translation. Then I added a wig, blonde, loose, kind of like a doll. I do love to use wigs in my photo shoots. They really help me step into the feeling I'm going for. Now onto my shoot. When I started, I actually used the CD first. The flares were quite bold, really colorful, but I wasn't totally happy yet. But then I brought in the wine glass and everything changed. I loved how the light bent through the glass was really soft. The flares were less predictable, but more delicate. And the mood kind of shifted. It finally felt like the thing I had imagined in my head. By the way, I also tried using soap bubbles, just to see if maybe they would reflect the light in some dreamy way, but it didn't really work. But I like moments like that. It's like a reminder that the process is the art. Even the stuff that doesn't work ends up kind of part of the story. Anyways, the wine glass was definitely the one that stuck. I kept going with it, tilting it, moving it closer to the lens, moving it away, changing the angle, and every shift gave me something different. And then at the very end, I actually brought out my film camera. Film is great. It is in a way a bit more serious. It's like you have to slow down, you have to really make every shot count. I only took a few shots, but they ended up being my favorites. I felt like the light and the softness and the mood, it all came together. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and you want to try some dreamy self-portraits of your own, I actually put together a free ebook with tips and lots of ideas for your self-portrait photo shoots. It's linked below if you want to check it out. And of course, if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and help me make even more videos. So here's how it all turned out. First, have a look at some of the digital shots I got. And then here are some from my roll of film. The results are not perfect by any means, but I like some of them quite a lot, and all of it just felt like a big play session. It was like giving myself permission to make something just because I felt like it. I really didn't know what the final photos would look like, especially the film. I just knew the kind of feeling I wanted them to convey. And sometimes that's more than enough.